Wartorn has finally entered early access, and boy oh boy is this team cooking, guys. Like, first let me just state that this is not a sponsored video, but thank you so much, Stray Kite Studios, for giving me early access to the early access build of the game. I've sunk many hours into this game already, and I'm still not ready to put the game down. It hooked me, and that says a lot considering that I'm not really into RTS games, but Wartorn does RTS a lot differently, and it's a very unique game, so let's talk about it. It's a single-player squad-based roguelite where you play as Yara and Alani, two sisters that are the heroes of this game, who have been driven from their home and must traverse the world to eventually reach the safety of their ancestral fortress. You harness the elements like fire, water, and electricity in fierce real-time battles while upgrading a crew of fantasy creatures as you search for your family. The devs at Stray Kite are actively shaping Wartorn with player feedback. Since the demo, they've expanded the combat, added new units, and fleshed out systems like the Villa Hub and Overworld map. They're entering early access for the same reason many studios do, and that's to reinforce the community-driven journey they want with people like us who enjoy early access games. Personally, I'm a big fan of early access. I love being a part of the game's growth and having the chance to give feedback through videos like this one, and Wartorn has a ton of potential, but it's not without its issues, and we'll get into those shortly. By the time you're watching this video, Wartorn will most likely be out and in early access, and you'll be able to find it on both Steam and the Epic Games Store. It's 20 bucks if you get it right now during the launch week. After that, it goes up to its regular price of 30 bucks. And I wanted to quickly mention that because I want people to save money where they can. So if you think that this game will add value to your life and you think it looks entertaining, then definitely go pick it up during launch week and save yourself 10 bucks. Also, a week gives you a good enough amount of time, like look at the Steam reviews, watch more videos other than my video, and form your opinion that way if you want to buy the game or not. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this approach, but from a business perspective, I get it. The game is again developed by Stray Kite Studios, a small indie team made up of some serious industry veterans, most notably Paul Hellquist, who served as the lead designer on the original BioShock and was the creative director behind Borderlands 2. There's a clear level of pedigree here, but Wartorn isn't just riding on past success, it's actually trying to do something fresh and stand out in today's indie scene. The studio has made it clear that early access is just the beginning. They're leaning heavily into community feedback, looking to refine the game's systems, balance, and pacing in the months ahead, and they released a roadmap for the game, so we'll touch on that later on in this video. So when you boot up the game and begin your first run, you start at the Villa. The Villa is a central hub where you can upgrade your heroes and squad and get some narrative beats and manage/upgrade some passive abilities as well. Now, at the beginning, you won't have any of these resources, so you won't be able to upgrade anything, but don't worry, we'll be back to this Villa in just a little bit. The story centers around Yara and Alani, our heroes, and it starts off with their villa being attacked, so they have to escape and rescue some lost family members and find sanctuary. With that, you exit through the catacombs and begin your first run. At the beginning of each run, you get to select one unit to join you and you venture off to battle. And this, to me, is where the game really shines. The combat is a ton of fun. It controls like other RTSs. Select the units you want to move them where you want them to go, or target who you want them to attack. Use their abilities to not only annihilate enemies, but also support and enhance your squad. And that brings us to the elemental system. There's water, electricity, fire, tar, and plants that all come into play here. Certain abilities will paint the units in tar, and if they are hit with fire afterwards, they will burn more aggressively. And you can use water to put out units on fire, or use water to heal plant units like the Heartwood Stomper tank. And lastly, any units affected by water will take increased electricity damage. It's really quite awesome. During the run, you can begin building a squad that's really compatible. If you like using a fireball, then grab a unit that can apply tar to your enemies. If you love the Heartwood Stomper, bring the Rainmaker unit and heal him with water. Now you also need to keep all of this in mind for your enemies as well. If they have fire acolytes, then you probably don't want to send your Heartwood Stomper to fight them because plant units burn faster. So this whole time you're battling, you're trying to determine the best synergy for your squad, while also trying to track your enemy's abilities and movements, and you can see the incoming attacks from the red outlines on the ground just before they happen, so if you want to move away or counter them, you can. Now, if you're like me and new to RTS games, all of this can seem like a lot to keep track of, but you can slow down time with spacebar to properly assess the battle, queue up your movements and attacks, and then unpause and watch everything happen. This mechanic is absolutely brilliant, and hats off to them for implementing it, because without it, I would probably get smoked in all of these battles. It seems simple, but this mechanic emphasizes decision making over reflexes, which is awesome. Now, if it wasn't clear already, there's a large range of units to pick from. Trolls, elves, goblins, and each having units of different roles such as melee, range, support, and tanks. My go-to right now is the Heartwood Stomper tank, and then some range like the elves archers. And this actually brings me to my first complaint. The melee combat feels bad. Now, watching my Stomper fling a whole enemy unit around is great, or my heroes going in with their daggers and using blade dance to annihilate them, that all feels and looks great. But the friendly fire is what doesn't. Now, maybe this is a poor take. Like I said, I haven't played many RTS games, but I just don't like the friendly fire. Almost every ability in the game is an AoE ability, so if I go in with a bunch of melee units, they're going to hurt each other, and I also won't be able to cast my range abilities like Rain of Arrows or my hero's Fireball because I will just kill my own units. Now, if the enemy units were more spread out, I could use my range attacks on them, but for most of the battles, the enemies get grouped up, so I sacrifice a lot of damage in order to not hit my own troops. But like I said, maybe this is a bad take. I just personally think playing with melee units feels bad because of friendly fire, so I just audible to range units with one tank, and that's been getting the job done. On a more positive note, the destructible terrain is very cool and adds another layer to the combat, and this can lead to battles on the same map feeling different due to what terrain is available to you and your squad. Overall, the combat is a lot of fun, and after each successful battle, you're awarded some resources like food, coin, and strands, which we will touch on all of these, but first, let's discuss the overworld. This overworld acts as a create your own adventure. After battle, you journey through this overworld. Now, you have a quest in the top right, like meet Redrix at the recognition stone, but on your way to these quests, you'll be flanked by the enemy and forced to battle, run into a goblin that may or may not have taken off with some of your coin, find family members, and a lot more choose your adventure type of interactions. But you can't journey through the world without food, because your units are hungry and they must eat every day. If you run low on food, starvation will destroy their hope, and hovering over this in the journey map will show how much food each of your units need every day. And if you're doing well on food, you can also use food to train your troops. There's also hunting quests scattered throughout the world, so you can send one of your units on these quests and they will return with food after a few days, but they will not be available for battle if you run into some enemies while they're out hunting, and they may even return with less members because some died during that hunting trip. That's where refugees come in. Throughout your journey, you may run into people who need your help. Now, you can ignore them and move on because refugees need to eat, and maybe you're low on food, but if you choose to help them, they'll become a refugee and you can recruit them into your units if that unit has lost some of their troops. Then there's coin, which can be used to buy resources from merchants, recruit mercenaries, and trade throughout the journey. These three things, food, coin, and refugees, are your caravan resources. These are resources that don't follow you after death and can only be used in your current run. Now, when all of your units die or you lose all hope, which hope can be lost or gained by decisions you make on your journey, and you also lose hope if your units die in battle. So when this purple meter depletes, it's game over for that run. But any cord crystals, spellbook pages, and strands you gained during that run will follow you back to the villa before you start again. Cord crystals are extremely rare, and you use them in the villa at the portrait gallery or heirloom case. The portrait gallery contains family members you found, and these cords can be used to increase their effects. You're allowed to bring one family member for each run. Cord crystals can also be used at the heirloom case to increase any heirlooms you found along your journey. And these are things that persist even through death, like any family members that you find and upgrade, any heirlooms that you find and upgrade, these will always stay with you throughout the whole entire game. Spellbook pages are used to unlock and upgrade spells in the villa library between runs for your heroes. If you want the fireball spell, you can use these to unlock and upgrade it. There's a bunch of these spells to choose from, so pick what works best for you and your squad because you can only bring one of these spells. And lastly, strands are used at the community tree in the villa and training grounds. The community tree will increase numerous status effects like ability damage and base damage to all of your units in your caravan, and the training grounds is where you can upgrade your heroes and give them new utility. If you want your heroes to be range based, you can unlock the archer statue. If you prefer melee, grab the daggers. And if you prefer to be a tank, stick with the sword and board. Anything upgraded in the villa will remain upgraded throughout the whole game, so every time you're here, I'd recommend exhausting as many resources as you can so your next run goes better. I won't spoil the story beats too much, but there are boss battles in the game. The bosses have multiple mechanics and require positioning, elemental mastery, and timing. I got smoked during my first battle, but these massive set piece battles are awesome and the payoff is incredibly satisfying after defeating the boss. There are also milestone battles known as warlord battles, which are harder battles and typically lead to more resources in progressing your journey much further. And real quick, to touch on the style of this game, Wartorn has a unique painterly aesthetic, which I really like. It meshes well with the tone of the game and enhances the style. The music too is done well and helps distinguish calm moments when you're at the villa or in your caravan from the intense battle music, which complements the game's pacing. So what's next for Wartorn? The devs have laid out the full roadmap displaying 4 major milestones, each bringing in new content, features, and ways to keep the game feeling fresh. Here's the breakdown. First up, the early access launch itself. That's where most of us are hopping in, getting a taste of the core gameplay, exploring this fantasy world, and meeting all sorts of mystical creatures and chaotic elemental battles. Right out of the gate, there's a ton to dig into, branching paths, a variety of unit types, and the opening chapters of what looks to be a pretty ambitious story is a solid foundation, and I've enjoyed my many hours in this game already. The first big post-launch update is bringing in a brand new battle type, or maybe even more than one. They hinted at maybe more than one, and it's designed to shake up your strategy and force you to adapt. These new battle types are meant to test your skills and shake up what you already know about the game. And after that, we're heading to the Isle of Thisik. Hopefully that's how you say it. This is a completely new region with its own vibe, environments, challenges, and lore. From what's been teased, it's going to feel like a big leap forward in terms of world building and exploration, more reasons to dive back in, and more secrets to uncover. And finally, we've got the big 1.0 release. This is when Wartorn fully comes into its own, new features, redefined systems, and the complete story all rolled into one polished package. I've already mentioned that I love participating in early access, so if you don't, but this game seems interesting, then just keep an eye on it for the 1.0 release. There's plenty more coming along the way too, new units, new trinkets, which are items used to enhance your units, bosses, and more layers of customization. The devs are committed to community feedback, and they're actively tuning the experience, fixing bugs, and updating players as things move forward. All right, so I kind of wanted to showcase some of this stuff. So here we are in the game. We just did the opening battle, and we're starting our journey here in the overworld map. So up here is your caravan and your caravan health. If this goes down, you lose, and then same thing with hope. If you lose all hope, this also loses, and you can hover over all these and kind of get a good idea of what each of these resources do. And let's start our journey. Right now, our quest is to meet Redrix at the recognition zone, so let's get after it. So you see, as each day goes by, we will start losing food. So -5 food, because that's how much our troops need right now. A different stroke of luck. Basically what it's saying is, do we want these lightning mages? Yes or no? If they sound familiar, we'll take them. Lightning mages. Do I want to take them? You know what? I'll grab them this time. I'll grab them. So we got the lightning mages. They are here. And now we must go to battle. Well, I'll take us to like the first junction where we go to buy merch and stuff, and then we'll get into it. Okay, so let's do it. So I have the daggers. I just unlocked the daggers for my heroes, which is lit because I'm trying to get in there. All right. So we're gonna stop here. I'm gonna slow down time. Some fire acolytes. Okay, let's just. Oh, see, I'm about to get hit. So let's move her out of there, and let's just actually get our mages set up. Cue their abilities. The entangling volley and the lightning bolt, and then we'll unpause and just let the game do its work. And then that's a tar wall. We don't want to go through that because then our troops will be caught on fire. Okay, looks like she's kind of walking through there. Okay, we're gonna drop fireball there. Let it do its thing. And then we're gonna take our whirlwind daggers and just attack them with them. And as you can see, I mean, that just feels great. That just completely annihilated them. So I know, because I played this, they're gonna throw grenades, so I'm gonna go up to bait them out. I'm gonna run backwards if I don't get hit. Then I'm gonna stop, and then I have my daggers in them, so they're gonna go in and fight. Look like our mages just got their electricity back up. Now I don't want to do friendly fire damage to them, so I'm gonna set this like there. And then we're about to get the archers cooldown, so I'm just gonna go ahead and toggle them on. All right, let's watch. Nice. Okay, I have a fireball. We might as well close on the fireball, huh? See you later. And there we go. First victory. So there's really detailed battle report where you can see all the damage you've done, all the friendly fire. Look, I did 150 friendly fire damage with my heroes there. And then if you were curious about the enemies and what fire acolytes and what units they were using, you can there. But we'll continue. Here's where we will get some resources. So after that victory, we're transported back to the caravan, and we could begin our journey. We didn't get any trinkets or anything. If we did, we would come in here and we would assign them. If we lost any of our troops, we're at 8 out of 8, 5 out of 5, so we didn't, but we would come in here and this would be toggled on. You could click it, and then we have one refugee, so we'd be able to replenish one of our troops. But let's just continue our journey. Trouble or not. So I know this, again, you can pause and read it if you want, but basically it's saying, do we want this troll? And then honestly, do we want to take the troll? No, let's say no. Let's, I sense some different magic here. Now it's gonna give us the option of 3 that we can choose from. Spear throw. I actually like these guys. These guys are pretty good. Let's take these guys. We welcome them. Now you're gonna see our food is now 10.75 per day because we acquired a new unit. We're gonna lose more food. And just for the funs of it, let's go ahead and start training our archers so that we can level them up. It takes a while to level them up. I'm not gonna show everything in this, so you probably won't see me level them up, but let's continue. Okay, battle time. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I want them to kind of flank, so I'm gonna kind of hide them here. And then let's let our tank start aggro on people, and then let's just move our ranged up so that they can hit. Okay, here we go. I want to pause it. I'm gonna have them use their spear throws there. I'm gonna wait on them, and then they're probably gonna meet like right here. Okay, these guys just popped up over here. So I'm gonna drop the arrows probably right there. All right, let's go. Okay, now I will send this right on that guy. Fireball. That hit him, and now I'm gonna send these my heroes on the flank. They're gonna go in with some blade whirlwind. Nice. Now, unfortunately, I did some friendly fire damage there. But now I'm just gonna Control A to select all of them and have them all attack this troll. Shoot them with the arrows. There you go. Okay. Control A again, and hit. See, we have to defeat all enemies and escape. So, unfortunately, we don't have any way to get rid of this wall. So we have to go around this way. So let's just send them all. If you had like a troll or like a big like heartwood stomper, you could just break that wall and move right in. Okay. Spear throw there. My mages have some magic they can hit. Just send it like. I'm gonna hit my heroes a little bit, but that's fine. There we go.
Oh, splendid.
Oh, we meet this guy. Yeah. Victory! But you can see there's some persistent damage. It takes a couple days for them to heal up all the way. But we will continue our journey. We must choose who shall receive the gift of healing. Okay, cool. So we ran into a group out in the world that's going to heal us. Let's heal up our archers. And we got +2 hope. Right now we're at 50-50. If this goes all the way down and this goes down by losing troops or making poor decisions out in the world, if this goes all the way to 0, you lose and you're reset to the villa. But again, strands, spellbook pages, any cord crystals will follow you to the villa where you can do upgrades. So each run you're going out there more powerful. But we're almost to the junction. Boom. So when you get to these, there's always a merchant, or not merchant. It is a merchant. A mercenary tavern is what it's called. But here, you can buy troops, buy more food, upgrade your wagon if your wagon health is down, get some hope if you're missing some hope. Right now, let's just grab, I don't know, we need a big bad. Let's grab this troll. I got some more food too. And then you get the pick out of a couple paths, and this tells you everything on the path. So here we have a Mustering Grove trinket battle. So this will give us a trinket that we could give to one of our units to make them more powerful. Or if we want food. If there's strands here, caravan supplies, and general store. Now, food's looking decent right now. We're at 570. I'd probably go this way. But I'm going to stop it here. Also, just to quickly mention, here's what the quest looks like for hunts. So you could click this whenever you get over there. Obviously, I have to pick a path, and I'll be able to click it. And then you could send one of your units out to go hunt. But remember, they may come back with less troops because some of them died during the hunt. They will bring back food, which is nice. But they won't be available for battle to go out for hunt. But anyways, that's where I'm going to end this little segment. I just wanted to kind of jump in the game and show you guys some of the systems at play here, but it's a lot of fun. Bottom line for me, I'm getting in on the ground floor of something that feels like it's going to get bigger and better. And honestly, that's one of my favorite parts of covering games like this, watching them grow, evolve, and hopefully turn into something super special alongside the community. So overall, Wartorn's early access launch is coming out swinging. The combat feels fresh with its elemental twists and tactical layers, and the roguelite structure means there's plenty of reason to keep coming back for more runs. If you're into games that mix strategy, fantasy, and a bit of chaos in a good way, this is definitely one to keep an eye on. If you're seeing this video, it's most likely already out or about to be out. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. Take excellent care of yourself, call someone you love, and goodbye.